I mean, I don't. I told Lisa that I was going to start this at 6, and then we'll be done by 7, and it's almost 7 now. So we haven't actually started the game yet.
Da 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 da. Welcome to Top 8 with Corran and Batmouse. I'm your host, Kendall. With me, as always, is Batmouse.
Hey, howdy, hey.
Special guest, Mr. Chris Schoenthal.
Pleased to be here tonight.
And our Knight of Trivia, because he has not been granted the rank of Master, Mr. Matt Thornton.
That's Major Brenderlin to you.
That's Brendelin.
Everybody knows his name.
Except Kendall, apparently.
So we are going to be talking about, or we're going to be creating, competitively collaborating, and making a list of the top 8 used Destiny 5 interrupts. Chris, you came up with this topic. What made you think of it?
Yeah, so I have to give partial credit here to Mike Kessling, who I was talking about. Oh, what should I do? My initial thought was something about Star Destroyers or Big Blue, because I enjoy those cards, but I couldn't find a way to make it interesting. And Mike was like, "What about like interrupts?" And I was like, "Ooh, there you go." And so then I was trying to debate how to box it off, and I ended up with Destiny 5 exactly used interrupts, so not used or lost, or used or starting if there's any. I guess surface defense is used or starting. But basically, it has a nice even 100 cards that are exactly Destiny 5 used interrupts. And it's got enough of an eclectic selection and a good range where it's going to make for an interesting list. There's not a lot that's guaranteed about it, but there's also a lot of chaff in there that you can kind of discard, but it's not too many that you're overwhelmed by trying to figure your list out. So,
all right.
My initial reaction when Mike suggested interrupts was, "Ooh, that sounds like a bloodbath," which I'm sure is right up Batmouse's alley.
It really is. It really is.
That's what we're looking for on this show, I believe, right?
So, I mean, there's a little bit of drama is good, as long as, as long as we end up with a good list, it can go however it goes. Batmouse, any thoughts before we go into trivia? What were your criteria or whatever?
So my criteria are these are all used 5 interrupts, so you want to pack a bunch of them in your decks. There's a lot of like, oh, these are like some of the best cards around, and then there's a lot of like, oh, I really like to like try to catch somebody off guard with my cards. If I can get you to say what and WTF during a game, I feel like I've already won. And so that's a lot of that is keyed in. There is a card on this list that I have has a special place in my heart because I used it against Mr. Schoenthal once a long time ago.
Oh boy.
Might get a snap sense from that pick.
So for me, it's interesting because I don't know that I had I have a list. I'm looking at a list with more than 8 cards on it, but I'm not happy with them. This is the first time that I don't have a proper top 8 that I made beforehand. So I think I'm actually going to be doing the Batmouse thing of I know that I'm hoping that there's a few cards that I hope can get on the list, and I don't know whether I value them at the same level as other people. But yeah, it should be interesting. I feel like I'm going to be a little less prone to sensing on this one than on some other drafts, just because I don't even know of 8 good ones. I mean, but they're good. Because Destiny 5 is such an interesting number because it can still do stuff. It's not a 6 or 7 where the cards don't do anything. But limiting it to used, and it's there's a few really good ones, but yeah, a lot of cards are used or lost. or user starting. Yeah, I mean, I don't tread on me on the list, and I was like, oh no, it's a starting. So let's dive into trivia, Mr. Thornton.
All right. I've got a bunch of questions for you. Some of these were submitted by Gurgle, and some of them are ones that I came up with myself. But you will be playing for placement in your order of choices. You can either get choices 8, 6, and 2, choices 7, 5, and 3, or choices 1 and 4, plus a defensive shield. And the defensive shield for this week is allegations of corruption. And you can play that shield to grab an opponent's choice and stack it here. They must choose a different card, and you must choose this card as your next pick. That pick is immune to sense. And with that...
And just to clarify, because we had 45 minutes of discussion on this, the defensive shield does get played after the card gets locked in. So everyone
Correct.
will have an opportunity to do their Sense Alter Wars, and then once the card gets locked in, if the player with the defensive shield wants to use the shield, that is the timing that they will use it.
Correct. Everyone has, as always, 2 senses, which can cancel a pick and make a player choose another one, and 1 alter, which can cancel a sense. That's all the alter does, right?
Yes, alter just cancels a sense, and sense cancels a pick or cancels an alter.
Or cancels an alter. Okay.
Yes,
gotcha.
But sense cannot cancel sense because this is not Star Wars cards.
All right. And without further ado,
much like the grabber coming after the sense is not Star Wars cards.
people used to play it that way, I think. But anyway, with some ado, now with no further ado, we are now going to move to trivia. First question. Chris is going to choose first because he's the guest. The question is, you open a pack of Reflections 1 and receive a used 5 as your foil. What card is it?
Used 5 from Reflections 1. Oh boy.
And just to be clear, throughout all these questions, I will just use the term used 5 to refer to the criteria for this list. A used exactly 5. Destiny 5 interrupt that is only used.
Reflections 1, so it only goes to like Cloud City or something like that.
I believe it went to Java's.
Goes to special edition because you can get Ben Kenobi.
True, yeah.
You can get DVD lots, yeah.
How did I give that information to my competitor?
I don't know. That was interesting. That was a bold choice.
I actually know the answer to this one.
I do know the answer too.
Say, oh no, they both know the answer and I don't.
Gotta say something.
Endor Occupation.
That is from Endor and was not.
Don't say whether it's correct. We both have to answer.
Sorry, I mean, I didn't say anything yet. Batmouse, you go ahead. Well, you both know it apparently. So, Batmouse, I decided you're next.
It's all wings.
All wings report in. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You both said it at the same time, and you're both correct. It is all wings report in. I think that might not have been the first foil I pulled out of Reflections 1, but I definitely pulled that foil. I think it was one of the lower rarities.
I built
so.
It's 1 point each for.
What an embarrassing pick or pack.
So I built I have a hidden base stack that uses defense fighters, so I had to play a bunch of copies of all wings, and like somehow I didn't have the non-foils, and then I sold off most of my foils. Like random bulk foils a couple years ago because I had an expense, and so I actually I had to buy like 3 copies of All Wings Report In, and I think the foils were cheaper, so I bought the foils.
Amazing.
It's a tough scene.
That's the only reason I know.
It's one of those ones where the foil I think is cheaper than the regular one. All right, so Kendall and Batmouse each get 1 point. Chris is now trying to catch up. So, second question. I'm going to name 4 virtual cards that are all used 5s. But when it comes to their non-virtual versions, one of them is a lost interrupt instead of a used. Which one? The 4 are Antilles Maneuver, Ascension Guns, Cold Cold Feet. First.
We didn't get those, Matt.
Again, those are Antilles Maneuver. Did I cut out?
Yes,
you're cutting out.
Okay. Should I just start from the beginning and we can cut that part out?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to name 4 virtual cards that are all used 5s. But when it comes to their non-virtual versions, one of them is a loss interrupt instead of used. Which one? Antilles Maneuver, V. Ascension Guns, V. Cold Feet, V. Or Mandalorian Mishap, V. Kendall, you're first.
Okay. Gonna say Mandalorian Mishap, maybe.
Okay. Batmouse, you also have 1 point. And Cold Feet.
So the only reason I know the answer to this question is because a local player to San Diego messaged me 6 months or so ago and wanted to meet up and play some retro decks. But he didn't have any cards and not really any lists in mind. But he liked themes. So he's like, what about episode 1 decks? So I had to build an Invasion and a WAP that were both fully non-virtual. And I happen to know that the answer is Ascension Guns.
Chris is correct, and is now tied with Kendall and Batmouse at 1.
Three-way tie.
Three-way tie.
Intense.
Getting spicy.
All right. To roll a die or something. Okay. Question number 3. Question number 3. There were 9 used 5s printed in the Premiere set, but only 1 was rare. Which one? Batmouse, you're up first.
Boring Conversation Anywhere?
All right. Chris?
I want to say, I'm going to agree with Batmouse. I think it's Boring Conversation.
All right, Kendall.
Yeah, it's Boring Conversation Anyway. I specifically remember looking through. It was my first booster box, and I found the rare in a pack, and it was Boring Conversation Anyway, and it's just like cancels these 8 cards, and I was like, that is a boring text.
It is a boring conversation. It really works.
All right, that's you guys are all 3 for 3 on that one. That is correct. It is Boring Conversation Anyway. All right, going on to number 4. How many legacy used 5s survived the reset untouched? In other words, how many used 5s were in set 0? Bonus points if you're able to name 1 or both. And I'll randomly choose.
So is the answer 2 then?
Yeah, I was going to say, does both mean the answer's 2?
God damn it. Well, this is why you shouldn't get me to make up. You shouldn't get me to make up one.
Just go to the next question.
1 or more.
Tell us the answer, but go to the next question.
I like that one, but I fucked it up. All right, yeah. It was Antilles Maneuver, and I Can't Shake 'Em. Those are the only used 5s to be in set 0.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that one's out. Cutting. Moving on.
One or both.
All right. So everyone's tied at 2. So question number 4 is going to be, what was the last used 5 to be released by the Players Committee? I'm defining last as from the most recent set in which one was released, and if there are multiple within that set, it's the last one on the PDF. Kendall, you are tied for 2 along with everyone else, so you're going to go first.
I'm going to say Vader's Anger V.
Okay. Batmouse.
I can't remember if this is our rebellion after. Sorry. This is my rebellion? This is our rebellion. The 0
With
hour.
that card.
This is our
Whatever.
rebellion.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't whichever one it is.
Whichever one
know
is,
the
that's
card.
the one.
We know
That's
the
the
card.
card. Yeah.
I hate to
I know
keep
which one you
agreeing
mean. I'm not gonna.
keep agreeing with Batmouse, but I also believe it to be This Is Our Rebellion.
This is our rebellion. Yes. You both got the right answer. And yes, none have been released in set 20 or 21. This is our rebellion in virtual set 19. All right. Moving on to number 5. There are 4 types of sabak, or sabak, depending on how you choose to pronounce that word. Cloud City sabak, Dune Sea sabak, Jabba's Palace sabak, and Trooper sabak. Which one has he used 5?
Only
Who's
one
up?
of them is. I thought they all were.
Who's up?
Oh, that's right. It's Batmouse or Chris. So
it
Batmouse.
should probably be Chris. Oh, or yeah.
Oh, it should be. I've had Batmouse go first every time. You're right. I'll have Chris. You go first.
Dune Sea.
All right. And Batmouse.
Copying the answer. It is Dune Sea.
See, I thought it was
And
Jabba's
Kendall.
Palace. I thought it was Jabba's Palace.
Is that your answer?
Yes.
All right. It is Dune Sea sabak. So that is Chris and Batmouse again tied at 4, and Kendall's at 2. All right. Number 6. Hayes Hunter won the 2023 Star Wars World Championship in New Jersey this past August. On day 2, his dark deck was a desert landing site start with slip sliding away V. This dark deck had exactly 1 Destiny 5 used interrupt in it. What was it? I'm going to say, Chris, you go first again.
I'm gonna say that it had None Shall Pass.
That'd
All
be a
right.
good one.
Batmouse?
I'm gonna say it had Cold Feet in it. Cold Feet B.
Right. All right. And
I
Kendall?
was also thinking Cold Feet V.
All right. None of you got the correct answer. The correct answer is A Dark Time for the Rebellion and Tarkin's Orders.
I was so close to saying that one too. I was like,
Yeah.
that's too easy.
He did not. I don't think he played. Did he play? No, he didn't, because both of the shield pullers for Dark are used 5s interrupts.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're still at 4-4-2. Moving on to the next one.
Next question: how many of the shield pullers for Dark are used 5s?
I almost did something like that.
Bonus point if you can name one or both of them.
Yeah. Look, there's a reason why they didn't grant me the rank of master. All right. All right. The next question: what is the game text of used 5 interrupt Blasted Varmints? I will judge your answers and award a point to the best answer or answers. Batmouse, go.
Oh man. If your if your card was selected randomly or whatever, you can target it to make the varmint go away. Or add 1 destiny to the selected fighting portion. Words.
All right, Chris.
I'm going to say if you have a weapon at the same site or the same location as a creature, you can cause the creature to be lost.
Okay. Did that break up for me, or was that anyone else?
No, I think we're good. Your connection is going in and out a little bit, but I think we're fine.
Okay.
All right, Kendall.
I'm gonna say if a Minoc is chewing on the power cables and you're in the space slug belly, you may turn the space slug belly into asteroid cave, and the Minoc is lost if your destiny is above a destiny.
I just say I hope Kendall is right.
Like I can kind of picture the card.
I know the picture.
I don't know if I can give a point to anyone. Kendall and Batmouse are kind of in the right area, but actually everyone was kind of in the right region too, because you talked about creatures, Chris, right?
Yes.
The actual answer is use one force to cause all Minox or Vine Snakes to detach from one starfighter or character, or cause one Minoc attached to any starfighter to be lost, or after a creature has selected a target character, cancel that selection and select again.
I did say or.
You were.
I mentioned Minox. I mentioned Minox.
I mentioned creatures being lost.
I don't think I'm going to give a point to anybody. Maybe Gurgle would have, but yeah.
No, that's a fair reply.
I did say or.
All right.
Sounded like 3 times.
I have one more.
If I remembered what Minox had done, that they attached thing, I probably would have said something about not detaching. But.
All right. So we're still tied at 4 each for Batmouse and Chris. So, and I've asked 7 questions, I believe. So we are going to go to the tiebreaker. Tiebreaker between Batmouse and Chris. Name Destiny 5 used interrupts from the Endor set. Keep going until you can't think of one or you name a wrong one. Starting with Batmouse.
Oh, I'm always going to name the wrong one first. Ewok and Roll.
Okay.
That one's good. I assume you're going to tell us if that person gets wrong.
Go ahead. Chris.
Endor Occupation.
Ewok and Roll is correct. Yes. Chris.
I said Endor Occupation again.
Endor Occupation. That is correct.
That's my answer to every trivia question.
Matt, why don't you turn off your camera? I think that your connection is struggling a little bit.
Okay, that's fair.
Oh man, now I can't read his face anymore. Free ride. Gotta be there, right?
Yep. All right, Chris.
High-speed tactics.
Yep. All right. Batmouse.
Endor Celebration.
Yep. All right, Chris. Yeah, I didn't hear that. Sorry, say that again.
I'm going to say Ewok Celebration. I don't know if that's a card.
Ewok Celebration is not on my list, and I don't believe it is a card.
Probably not a card. All right.
It is a card. It is a card from Reflections 3, and it is a Destiny 5, but it is an effect. And it is not a used 5. So I'm sorry, Batmouse wins the tiebreaker, and Batmouse wins trivia. So, all right, Batmouse.
The worst possible.
The worst possible outcome for everybody.
The worst possible answer. Because remember, I came up with the defensive shield, so I could let you do all the talking and then take credit for it. That is why I did this. But I'm not going to take the defensive shield. I am going to be player 3, and I want picks 8, 6, and 2.
I will take the defensive shield then.
All right, Batmouse is player C. Batmouse is player C. Chris is going to be player A, and Kendall will be player B. I'm just going to ask for a quick pause, real quick.
Okay.
I keep seeing my thing going blue, like lighting up when I'm not talking. Can you guys hear the movie that Lisa's watching in the other room?
You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
I will say, Batmouse, that when you click your pen, it is getting picked up on the mic. So
sorry.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it clicked.
Yeah. If you need to fidget, just mute yourself. It's fine. But yeah, I noticed, at least for it only was a little bit. It's not as bad as we've had some rough ones.
From Batmouse.
There was one where Batmouse was like making dinner, and like the chopping knife was like right next to the microphone.
I believe it.
All right. So with that, we have our order. And Batmouse, you are going to start us off with pick number 8.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say Out of Commission, because one of my first games that I got to play against our dear advocate here.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's probably the card.
I got to Out of Commission Darth Vader in his lost pile and staple his hunt down objective to the front side, and that made me very happy. And so Out of Commission is my pick for spot number 8.
Yeah, that's a great.
right.
Yeah, that's a great pick. It's not on my list, but I can't believe it's not on my list because that's an iconic card. Obviously feels like it should maybe be a little higher, but 8's not very many. That's what we've learned time and time again. So I'm good with it.
And despite what might be expected, I am not going to spite sense that. I think it's a pretty good pick. Obviously, it's been kind of eclipsed by the combo. That's not part of this list. And I think I agree with a lot of what Kendall said, that it's a pretty classic card. So yeah, let's stick it at 8.
All right. I will say I have played Out of Commission in a tournament not that long ago because of Batmouse, because the non-combo cancels the targeting of a tractor beam. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which in local LA tournaments matters more than most other tournaments, I would think.
What does the combo do? What is the transmission terminated on the combo?
Cancels a hologram.
Blows up a hologram.
Oh, okay.
Or blows up the table.
Or blows up a hollow site, yeah.
Okay, so that's relevant.
But just be careful, because it is important to note that the function that lets you release your starship from a tractor beam is not effective on Death Star tractor beam if central core is in play. So
correct.
In that scenario, you're out of luck.
All right.
All right. And with that, pick number 8 is Out of Commission. Kendall, you have pick number 7.
Oh man, this is hard. Like I said, this list is hard. Oh man, number 7. Yeah, I just have to pick
a good topic.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have the obvious stuff. Yeah, it's interesting to think about. So I'm gonna say, okay. So there's one card that's actually like 4 cards. That basically all do the same thing, which is take a thing, a non-unique thing from your reserve deck into hand, and they're all used 5s. But I think the one that kind of does the best job of representing the team. So we've got Abyss and Ornament, Nar Shadow Wind Chimes, all wings report in, rolling, all that kind of do the same things. But Abyss and Ornament to me is the most iconic version of that.
Short range fighters.
Yeah, I was gonna say short range fighters.
What's short range? Oh, is short range fighters the dark side? Is
all
that
wings,
does that one?
It's the dark side all wings.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You know what it was? Is that I forgot that that was what it did. That was the half. I looked for Watch Your Back, and didn't find it because I knew that it was part of the combo. But obviously, that's why it doesn't deserve to be on this list, because I forgot that it existed.
So forgettable.
But but I wanted a representation of that mechanic, and that's why it's this low on the list, because I don't think any of those cards kind of on their own deserve to be on the list. But I think that Abyss and Ornament representing all those other cards, kind of they're like it's like 4 kids in a trench coat stacked on each other looking like an adult. And also I love that and also specifically Abyss and Ornament, I love that you can use the retrieval function on any non-unique. It doesn't have to be a non-unique alien, so you can, you can float it in like a destroyer droid deck or something. So yeah, Abyss and Ornament is the pick.
All right. Batmouse, would you like, or does anyone have any discussion on this actually before we go to sense and Shields.
I mean, I hate to be in an agreement with everybody, but yeah, I think what Kendall said is right, that this class of card deserves a spot on the list. I'm fine with it being Abyssal Ornament. I actually have an Abyssal Ornament on my fridge, so.
Nice.
I'm just reading this card because I didn't realize that you could do any. It would work with any non-unique character.
Yeah, you should play
it. It does only take non-unique aliens, though. It doesn't grab a non-unique not alien.
Right.
So you can't
Right.
grab a destroy droid with it, but you can retrieve off destroy droid.
Retrieval, kind of nice.
Yeah, so play it with your B2 battle droids.
But I only get 3.
Well, you know, quick retrieval of a couple.
Quick retrieval. Hey, Batmall rides again.
Hey, that's why the mall is a Destiny 1/2, so you can do it when you only have one out.
There we go. I like the function of this card. I do have, a soft spot for all wings in Hidden Base. Doing it with X-Wings and doing it with EBO, X-Wing Swarm. Number 7 on this list. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm fine with Abyssal Ornament there.
All right. So it sounds like no senses from either of you, right?
No.
And Chris, it doesn't sound like you want to use your shield either.
Nope. I like it at 7.
All right. Then Batmouse goes to you.
Okay. And so I had to click off of my card. I'm going to go with changing the odds. Non-virtual. Opponent just drew Battle Destiny or Destiny for a water chance cube. Subtract 1 from that Destiny. But here's the best part. If you just verified opponent's reserve deck, search that reserve deck and place 1 interrupt found there out of play. With no restriction on me taking away your Gick. Oh, you want to give up an early verify? Sure. I will just go ahead and take that Gick right out of your deck. Oh, wow, that's a lot of Destiny 6s in there. Let's start taking those away one at a time, each time you miss a verify. And then, you also get to subtract 1 from a Battle Destiny. 1 can be a massive number in this game. So for pick number 6, use 5 interrupt. I'm going to go with changing the odds.
All right. Kendall, what do you have to say?
It was like a kind of an honorable mention. I'm not sure why it wasn't on my list, but I will say that one of the things that I like, or that I hate when my opponent does, is that thing where they every single turn do a verify. And I like being able to, I like the idea of punishing them. Not enough to actually play this card, but I like the idea that there are downsides to just every single turn taking an extra 30 seconds to look through your deck for no reason. And especially because sometimes you play against people that are it's like the slowest players that choose to do that every single turn. And it's just like, yeah. So I like that. And I mean, honestly, one of the only cards that I ever helped design, with the Jawa Council, Off-World Jawas has a similar effect. It punishes on a verify. So yeah, I think I'm good here. Like, I think if I had a tighter list, then I might have said something about this, because it's definitely not in my top. But we'll see. I have a feeling it's going to get pretty bloody pretty fast. I think this is probably the last inessential card that I'm okay with where it's at.
All right, and Chris.
Yeah, so I do have a tighter list, and this is not on it. But on the other hand,
I have Batmouse.
Yeah, we've got Batmouse. Nobody's used anything yet. I think there's some pretty important ones to come. We have 5 more spots. Ugh. It does see play. Like, I've seen it in decks recently.
Mhm.
Like, it's not the craziest thing in the world. I don't love it. But I don't know that I hate it enough.
You know what?
to...
You know what? Sense. You talked me into it.
All right. I like it.
All right. Change in the odds has been sensed.
Oh,
Batmouse. Let's pick again or use an alter.
I really want this card on there, but yeah, everybody's getting ready for the bloodbath that is to come. So I'm gonna leave it alone. That's fine.
Now he's gonna play it at 3 or 2. He's gonna play it at 2.
That's 1 cent off the board, boys. Good job.
Yeah, that feels right. I think it doesn't. Now he's gonna pick something that like nobody's ever heard. Now he's gonna pick blasted varmints.
Oh, I mean that's a great like just mess with you pick, but that's not where I want to go with it yet.
Yet.
I will yet. I will say I want to use Dark Side Vote Now. And
Dark Side Vote Now.
Yeah, Dark Side Vote Now, because I get to choose.
During your control phase, draw a destiny. If destiny greater than 2, draw up to X cards, maximum 4, from reserve deck, where X equals your total politics at Galactic Senate minus opponent's total politics at Galactic Senate. That is its only function.
So I played a ton of Dark Senate for a while, and Dark Senate's always got a soft spot in my heart. I had a match play online years ago that I needed to win. I had no shot. I was down 24 cards, and I came back and I won by 26 because I played Dark Side Senate and just rolled house. And Vote Now drew me probably 12 cards that game.
Yeah, that does seem good. I wasn't familiar with the card. I don't know if I've ever seen, does Senate usually play it?
No.
I don't think I played it in Senate.
It's a Batmouse card for Senate.
Yep.
It seems good. I think because card draw is good.
Yeah, Batmouse knows. Batmouse knows the way to my heart. Because on the one hand, I think if you're going to put one Senate card on the list, it should probably be Squabbling compared to this. On the other hand, I do love drawing cards, and I do love Dark Senate.
That's why I took Dark Vote Now.
Yes, and Dark Senate especially is a delight. So I am not going to mess with that one.
All right.
Also, Squabbling Delegates falls under the freaking Abyssin Ornament subcategory.
Yep.
It does, yeah. I almost said that earlier when you were naming the ones that. Well, it's not non-uniques, but still.
It lets you grab your good senator, which is important.
Right. Yeah, it gets the senator and has the retrieval. Yeah.
I guess you can grab a Coruscant Guard with it, so it does grab a non-unique actually.
Or Keter the Black.
That's true. Kendall, does that mean that you are not sensing Vote Now, Dark Side?
No, I'm not gonna use my other sense on that. Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting choice. I think it's good that Batmouse has 6 and 8 because those are 2 good places to have interesting choices. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get serious from here on out.
Well, like the viewers, said, I get to start the list, so I get to build it from my end. And my ends that Out of Commission and Vote Now are 2 very important cards to me.
I mean, Out of Commission definitely deserves to be on the list. Vote Now. Vote Now is that weird one. It's the B2 battle droid. When we had the Unable to Otherwise, it's a weird choice, but it's
the one that we're going to point to at the end of the episode when we have regrets and be like, how did
when we couldn't fit whatever, and then it's like, oh, well, that's because of that card. But it's okay because Batmouse was never going to pick that card anyway. That's the It's
True.
the him pick. If you sense Batmouse's picks that are like borderline, he's not gonna go in the direction that you want him to go. And that's not because he's playing in bad faith either. He just has a different,
I just look at things differently.
Different opinions than some of us. All right. So are we locked in? Do I get?
I think we're locked in and going to pick number 5, which is Kendall.
Okay. What are the 4 words that are on that automatically make a card awesome? There's 4 words in Star Wars cards that automatically make a card awesome.
If unable to otherwise?
One.
I was going to say that too.
Battle Destiny. Add 1 Battle Destiny. And there is a use 5 that is one of the most common ways that throughout the history of the game that people have added a Battle Destiny. And
I'm already typing a card title. Let's see if I'm right.
And it works with my favorite platform and my favorite just like feel. It's just like everything I want from a Star Wars card, and that is Jabba's Through With You. Adds a Battle Destiny after a bounty hunter shoots, and you play the fun bounty hunters that got their guns, and then they, even if they miss, they still add a Battle Destiny. Aura Singh with Blaster can just like hang out all by herself, and she draws a Destiny anyway, and she shoots, and you add a Destiny, and it's like just one of the best feelings in the whole game. Probably
could even do it with Forlom with concussion rifle, right?
Right. Yeah. Could even do it with somebody like with virtual Forlom concussion rifle. You can be like your power -1 or whatever it does, and then add a Battle Destiny. It's great. It just sort of is one of those cards that does like the Lost Interrupt Destiny 3 that just randomly adds a Battle Destiny from the most recent set. Is it Shattered something?
Shattered Hope.
Is it Shattered Hope?
Yeah, Shattered Hope.
Yeah. But like this is like the Jabba's Through With You and Slight Weapons Malfunction are like practically that card that took 20 years to make, and we had this card in 1998, and it's a great card.
All right, Chris, your thoughts?
So I had a different used 5 that is in that sort of scum and villainy scoundrels kind of space. But that said, I don't think I would want the card I'm talking about higher. And I think that Jabba's Through With You, I agree with what Kendall said. It's pretty cool that you can use it with EVPs. So I am not going to use any tricks on it, but I do want to call attention to the delightful wording that Decipher used. They didn't really have their grammar skills up to par at the time. So the second half of the card is, during your deploy phase, deploy on your bounty hunter 1 character weapon from reserve deck. Not deploy 1 character weapon from reserve deck on your bounty hunter. It's deploy on your bounty hunter 1 character weapon from reserve deck. So,
yeah, this isn't a Yoda card. What are they doing?
Right. So yes, I'm good with Jabba's Through With You.
All right, Anthony Batmouse Howard.
Nobody has caused any violence other than my change in the odds.
We're all so polite.
I know, and I love the heart war.
Well, this is number 5. This is number 5. If history goes to show, we're gonna get to the ones that matter here soon.
Is the Destiny 5 Interrupts top 8 gonna be known as like the Hallmark Classic, like the holiday special, where it's like everybody's happy? It's all.
Well, there was only one.
We just had Life Day.
So the number of these. Feelings. You never know what happens once you get to the top 5. Once you get to the top 4, especially. So, what you doing, Batmouse?
So I'm contemplating being an agent of chaos. But I don't want to be on this pick because I really love Jabba Through With You. I love Darkside Bounty Hunters. I love Shadow Collective, and being able to, throw hands whenever you want to with like Danik Jericho V, who will now draw, he won't add because he's not a bounty hunter. That's a bad example. But Dengar with Blaster Carbine V, randomly having 2 battle destinies seems good to me. So I'm gonna let this through. Just know, Agent of Chaos that you like.
You're looking, well, you don't need to be an Agent of Chaos. There's gonna be drama here soon, I'm sure.
All right. Well, continuing on with this drama-free, wonderful romp that we're taking through Destiny 5 use interrupts, we get to Chris finally with pick number 4. What do you have for us, Mr. Tournament Advocate?
So I have some options. One thing I think it's interesting to point out is we're halfway through, and all of our cards are Decipher cards. So we have no virtual cards yet.
Well, the PC doesn't like designing high destiny cards, so.
True. They don't design them all the time. They do. I'm tempted to.
You might say the PC doesn't design interrupts that are just used. All of their interrupts have to have multiple functions.
That is actually very true.
I will point out that 2 of the trivia answers were PC cards that were Destiny 5.
True. I mean, and I have a lot of virtual cards on my top 8 list that we just have not used any. I'm tempted to use. I'm tempted to put rolling here, but I don't think I'm going to because it's another Decipher card, and we already have a kind of a card of its ilk, as Kendall said. Although I don't necessarily agree that it's analogous enough to represent. But
I was just saying. I mean, there's no rule against the dog playing football. It's fine.
That's right. There's no law. I think I am going to go with Ascension Guns V as my pick here. WAP's a deck that's always feels kind of fun to me. I don't play it all the time, but I do enjoy it. So it helps with the WAP, obviously, with getting your guys where they need to be, or your queen, as it were, as well. But then on top of that, it also has some deck manipulation and drawing text, and I'm a moth to flames for that sort of text. It's the same reason that Batmouse got to keep Vote Now, because he knows that I love to draw cards and I love to manipulate my deck and I love to play Brainstorm, things like that. So that's where I'm going with that. Ascension Guns V is my pick at 4.
All right, Kendall, what say you?
I think it's good. I was gut reaction was that I'd rather This Is Our Rebellion represent the let the Wookiee win type card. But I think Ascension Guns, I think the fact that 0 Hour plays Ascension Guns means that it's good enough. But yeah, I agree. I think honestly, I think that I miss Rescuing the Clouds. I like that effect of like just a cheap used interrupt and get a little bit of card draw, a little bit of deck filtering. Like I like that. I like that effect a lot. So yeah, I think Ascension Guns makes a lot of sense here.
I will also say that it's noticeably better than This Is Our Rebellion, since This Is Our Rebellion shuffles, so you don't get to help choose your destiny as well if you want to use it for that.
All right, Batmouse. Your
violence. I choose violence, but not here. I love Ascension Guns. It's funny that Let the Wookiee Win comes up in this statement, and that Chris is on this episode when Let the Wookiee Win gets mentioned. I made tacos one time for a tournament, and someone paid me in Let the Wookiee Wins for those tacos. So
This is back when they were like a $25 card, right?
It is. This is back when it was a $25 card. And so Ascension Guns gets to stay on the list because I do have a soft spot for drawing cards and filtering, and I use it in QMC all of the time. Ascension Guns is a great card. I love the functions of it. I love everything about it. It's good.
Oh man, we're in top 3.
All right, yeah. This is so heartwarming. Everyone's just like taking a pick. Everyone is like,
I mean, I guess we're just
I like your pick. Oh, I like your pick.
We're just on the same page. I do have something that somebody might put on the top 3 that I will be snap vetoing or snap sensing. So.
Oh man, that's spicy.
So we'll I've got something in mind that I don't want on the list, but we'll see.
I also have that, but I think they're
right now.
I think they're different ones that we have, Kendall, because I have my reason. I think you have a different reason.
Yeah.
And I think I like your card that you want to veto. So this is going to be fun.
Violence.
I think I know what it is. All right, I'm excited for this.
Write it down.
Regardless of what that card is.
What you think that is.
Yeah, right down
the card that you like that Kendall's going to veto?
Yeah, just write it down so we can see after the episode.
All right, it's written down. Well, whatever that card is, it is not going to be chosen next because Kendall has pick number 3. The third best Destiny 5 used interrupt. Kendall.
Okay, so I did a top 5 Destiny 5 cards on Corran in the morning. And I watched the episode, and I was only half paying attention, so I might be wrong on this, but I think only one of the Destiny 5s on my top 5 was a used interrupt. And that one is None Shall Pass. I love like sort of tempo used interrupts, stuff like barrier, stuff like stunning leader, and None Shall Pass fits the criteria.
Did you ever play in Legacy?
Would you like
to read? Are you aware of the existence of None Shall Pass V?
I know that it exists.
I was just gonna read it. It's fun. It's really fun.
I don't remember what it does though.
If opponent just deployed a character, except Leia, to a Jabba's palace site, use 1 force to place that character on the bottom of opponent's force pile. Opponent may draw 2 cards from reserve deck. Also used 5.
Just absolutely buried him.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yes.
Literally. But that's not the card we're talking about. We are talking about None Shall Pass from Jabba's palace.
Another just straight ahead, just a cipher card. But
sure,
just such an elegant design. Such an elegant design from a more civilized age.
Yeah, the civilization ends here. Sense that.
Right. No.
Okay.
Right, that is a sense from Batmouse.
This is my last. Last one.
Real quick though, Batmouse, give us some thought process to why. Let's have some discussion first.
There are only 3 cards left for this list. None Shall Pass. I get it that you're playing Batmouse in this game. But no.
Not at all.
I mean, I think Kendall believes in this pick.
Like I said, I literally have already done a listicle that included this card with a larger criteria. You know, this is according to the YouTube video that I made a year and a half ago, the best Destiny 5 used interrupt. And that is why I'm going to alter your sense.
Oh. All right. That is an alter from Kendall, altering Batmouse's sense. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Now, if you
Batmouse is thinking
on
I am thinking.
or
I'm thinking
anyone
I'm,
else would choose to
I'm
spend
wondering-
another sense to
Right.
cancel the interrupt.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The alter can be.
Well, I'm going to
Can
give
be,
Chris the first opportunity to respond because he has not responded to this pick yet. And I'd like to hear his thoughts on None Shall Pass.
So my thoughts are this. This was the card I was thinking of when we talked about Java's Through With You. This is the other card that to me represents the sort of alien scum milieu.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the list needs two of them.
So you're going to use your sense to cancel his alter.
I just don't know that it's sensible for me because I need to have something to fight over the pick that Kendall.
Well, you've got two senses.
I do have two senses, and you only have one sense, so I could use my sense to sense your sense if it comes up.
You would use your alter to sense my sense.
I'd use my alter. Okay.
Use your alter to cancel my sense.
Yes, if you really want to strike this from the record, you can. As could Batmouse if you wanted to use the rest of his interrupts.
As could Batmouse, yes. I think Batmouse wants to more than me even.
I want to keep my other sense. But we would all be going in essentially one sense each if you canceled his alter here.
It's another Decipher card. It's another Dark Side card. It'd be the fourth Dark Side card on the list.
Yes, we only have two light side cards currently out of the 6 that are currently on here at this stage. Yeah.
I can't do it. I'm gonna let it through.
This is the best list ever.
All right, Batmouse.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and sense it off though.
Oh.
I'm gonna
Double sense. Double sense from Batmouse.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, Kendall, sorry to say, none shall pass. Shall not pass.
Has not. Yeah.
So we must pick another.
Some shall pass.
Dusty.
So I can give. So I've got one on there that would give Chris what he's asking for. I've got one on there that I think for a light side virtual card.
That's fair. I wasn't necessarily asking for it. I was just bringing up. We had a lot of.
I got you. I've got that one.
You want to bring balance to the force, yeah.
Well, it's like
or
there's
you
one of them.
Darkness. That's
there's one of them that like I think probably doesn't deserve to be number one. That might end up number one if I don't play it now. And then there's one that probably wouldn't end up on the list at all, but I think is an interesting card. There's one that's like an obvious, like probably justified, but I don't like that. Yeah, no, I don't like that one.
The chaos.
No. It's not even chaos. I think it's reasonable. This is why we have the discussion. I'm gonna go with Vader's Anger V. This is a card that has won me games, and people don't play around it. Like you can use it to have Vader follow somebody. Vader can be alone, and it's one of these things that does like a bunch of really solid functions. It's a justification for playing 2-player game Vader, which is cool. I'm glad that that's in existence. But it just as like a really solid like workhorse of a card. And then also I like that it's narrow enough that it's like sometimes, and it's a Destiny 5 card, so it's narrow enough that it's like sometimes I know I'm not Vader is hanging out at the throne room, and I'm already past that point in the game. I'm not going to deploy any more Vaders. He's not going to be fighting, so it's a card you can put back with Forlom. I don't know. It's just it's a card I like a lot. I think we'll try it.
All right. Number 3, Vader's Anger V. Batmouse, you can give us any thoughts if you want, but you do not have any senses left, so your thoughts are impotent if you have any negative ones.
Luckily I don't have any negative thoughts about Vader's Anger V. I love it. It's a great card because unless you put down Hyperwave Scan V, Vader getting jumped by like 3 or 4 characters isn't a problem for you. It's actually really a problem for them. So bring the fight, boys. Vader's Anger V, I'm a big fan. Taking care of Dodge, It's a Trap, in Obi-Wan's Journal. Also a big thing for me.
All right, Chris.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement. I think it's a really cool card. I think that Kendall's description of it is really good, that it's narrow enough that it's not just always good, but it's got enough variety to it that it's good in different game states, which is cool. Yeah, big fan. So stick it at 3. I love it.
Okay.
All right. Vader's Anger is number 3.
Do we get to know though, Kendall, which of your descriptions of interrupts that one was? Was that the one that you said, I just think it's a cool card? Was that the one you think it should be on the list, but it should be higher?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, so that one is like the most good faith pick that I could have made of my choices. Like that is the card that it was like, I was looking and I was like, it is the one. Cause again, I kind of did my list a little different. I don't have like a 1 through 8, but it was more like I wanted my picks on the list. And it was the three that I originally mentioned, the Abyss and Ornament, Jabba's Through With You, and None Shall Pass were like the 3 that I wanted on the list. And then Vader's Anger is like
3.5
is like the other one. It's like the other one that if I had an extra pick, I would pick. So it made sense. There's the couple of other ones. It was more, that would have been more gamesmanship or whatever.
All right. And with that, we are going to our top 2 used 5 interrupts. Batmouse, what is the second best used 5?
Well, it'll be the second best because it's on the list at number 2. But I think it's the best used 5. And time to just speed up because we must accelerate our plans. At number 2 on this list. It's an effect puller, pulls a Twix. It can cycle itself back by just looking for itself, essentially. That's a huge thing in this game. And there's a reason why it's a really expensive card, and there's a reason why they made a budget version of it. But the budget version isn't on here because we must accelerate our plans. Is pick number 2.
All right, Chris.
Well, let's have Kendall go
thoughts
first.
Or a sense?
I have more material than Kendall, so let's have Kendall go first.
Okay, Kendall, go ahead.
Yeah. So this is not the card that I was going to sense. This is the card that I was afraid would be number 1. And I almost picked it at number 3. Just because I don't know. I think it's speaking as far as raw power, it's probably the most, at least the most ubiquitous, or the most like, it's the most broken of the Destiny 5 used interrupts, I guess. And it kind of, in a lot of ways, ruined the game. Cause it like the Twix pullers, the Decipher Twix pullers accelerate and speak and the Weeza, like they make it so that like they're just too good. Activation is too good with them. It accelerates the game in a way that's not that's not really ideal.
Sorry, it does what to the game? Sorry, it does what?
It accelerates the game. Yes. And so, but I also can't deny that it is a very powerful card, a very ubiquitous card. And it would feel wrong if it was not on the list. I like it at number 2 just because it kind of, it's like, it's not a perfect card. It's got, it does bad as well as good.
All right. So that's not a sense from Kendall, which means I was wrong. I thought that was going to be the card that you would sense, but I now am living in suspense of what that card is going to be, if it exists, if it is picked. So
this
Chris,
means two things. This means two things. The first thing is I agreed with you, Matt. I also thought this was the card that Kendall was going to sense, but that also means that I think the card that he thinks of instead is a card I agree with him on. So that's pretty cool. In regards to we must accelerate our plans, I think that there's been a lot of good points made about this card and its utility. It's just got so many great functions, and that's why I'm glad I thought of it and put it at number 1 with allegations of corruption.
All right, that is a defensive shield play from Mr. Chris Schoenthal. Grabbing, we must accelerate our plans, as often happens late game when you haven't grabbed anything. You got to grab accelerate, because if you're not going to grab anything, you're at least causing a force loss, and they're not sticking it in the use pile. So Chris grabs, we must accelerate our plans, very thematic, which means that, spoiler, we must accelerate our plans is the number 1 used 5 in the Star Wars customizable card game, which I will point out, when Batmouse came over to my place this afternoon to pick up the Lorcana decks that I got for him in exchange for the 3 pounds of brisket that he gave me yesterday.
That's a good deal for both people, by the way. That's
I have to agree. I 100% agree. I'm going to be making some brisket quesadillas, I think, right after this. But I said, like, come on, Accelerate has to be number 1, right? Like, of used 5s, what else could it be? And, well, that's correct, which means that Batmouse, you're going to give us our last pick of what is the second best used 5 in the Star Wars customizable card game.
Oh, blown out in such a great way, and I love it. And because I'm blown out, I just say that We're Doomed is that's where I'm going to be. Late game, playing a lot of grindy games, playing hidden base. You get below 15 life force and you just go, We're Doomed, and cut all their damage in half. And now, the surefire game that you're going to, run away with and I'm going to lose is not that anymore, because you do almost no damage to me now. So have fun with that.
Just to be clear, you were picking We're Doomed
Original.
Non-combo, not We're Doomed combo, which is also a valid choice for this topic.
Yes.
All right. Well, Kendall, give us your thoughts on We're Doomed.
This is the friggin' best list we've ever made. I mean, I don't agree with Accelerate at number 1 because of the stuff that I said, but it's like it's not wrong. Like if somebody, it's not what my pick would be, but it's somebody else, somebody else's pick, it's reasonable. And having a reasonable pick at number 1 is such a victory. But We're Doomed, I thought, is one of those, so often when we do this show, I think that I have picks that people won't agree with. And We're Doomed is one that, like, I thought about playing it after None Shall Pass. That was I forget what my description of it was, but it was like one that was it's an iconic card, that just sort of, it's one of those, it's the reason that we have grabbers, like cards like We're Doomed. And anytime you're talking about, I think so much of this draft is about talking about sort of representing the different archetypes of used interrupts, because we're not necessarily, because we're limited to used interrupts and we're limited to the 5s. So it's like, it's not always going to be the best, the absolute best way to stop somebody from fighting or the absolute best way to prevent damage or whatever, but it's about like kind of having that representation. And I think We're Doomed is a great card. It actually was, when I first started playing Star Wars cards, We're Doomed, I thought was the worst card in the game, because I read it and I was like, well, if I'm down to 15 life force, I've lost the game already, right? So it was when I owned 61 light side cards, it was the first card that I removed from my deck. I was not smart. I was 10 years old.
All right. Well, Chris, what are your thoughts on the new number 2
I
our
mean,
list.
Batmouse knows how to pull at my heartstrings. Like, We're Doomed was absolutely on my list as well. I think it's a great choice. I think it's really, like Kendall said, emblematic of damage reduction and like late game play and skill kind of shining through, like tracking it around. Specifically, the interaction with 3PO with his parts showing that it both is a used 5, so 3PO gets it back and tracks it around. But then when 3PO is on the table, you get to round down, so you can make their drains of 1 or their drains rounded down and their damage rounded down. So I love everything about it, and I think it's perfect. I own a couple white border Japanese copies, and they're among my favorite cards. So yeah, let's call it a list. I think we did great, boys.
Yeah, right.
All right. I love it.
All right, then that means that we have our list, which is, just to recap, at number 8, Out of Commission. At number 7, Abyss and Ornament. At number 6, Vote Now, Darkside. At number 5, Jabba's Through With You. At number 4, Ascension Guns V. At number 3, Vader's Anger V. At number 2, We're Doomed. And at number 1, We Must Accelerate Our Plans. I gotta say congratulations. I think this is a really good list. I off the top of my head, I didn't make a list myself, so I don't have the correct list to give like some other trivia masters would do. But I think I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I would like to see on this list that's not here. But do any of you have any honorable mentions that you would like to bring out?
Before we do honorable mentions, Kendall, can I guess your card?
Yeah.
Was it Free
Yes.
Ride Combo Virtual?
It was Free Ride Combo Virtual.
Yes. Oh, that's a good, yeah.
I
didn't think about that.
I also like my play of not using any senses or alters was half because I really wanted accelerated number 1, but also half because I refused to put that card on the list.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I feel like we're all in agreement.
I think it's to our credit. That our top 8 list includes no combo interrupts. There's several possible combo choices. The Escape Pod combo came up. Dark Times combo came up. I almost want one that I do not quite regret, but I think a combo interrupt that's done more right than wrong is the Biff Shuffle combo. I think that's got some
I didn't think about that.
middling utility, but also is for a long time was the best barrier canceller in the game. And so that one is one that I would consider on my list as an honorable mention. But overall, I think we did great, and I think we're not missing too many cards that people are going to be mad at us about.
Yeah.
Even though three of the choices are also on combo cards, and one of them was even also eligible for this list as well. But yeah.
Well, I mean, and to those other combos, I mean, a lot of times combo cards have lower destiny, or their utility is limited if it's high destiny. But Biff Shuffle combo is one that probably could have made the list if I was making it by myself and took a little more time. I was a little bit rushed with my picks this time. Didn't have quite as much. It just wasn't quite as cut and dry a list as usual. Honorable mentions. Nobody mentioned Antilles Maneuver and I Can't Shake Him V. Those especially Antilles Maneuver seems worth mentioning. Cold Feet V, and then Escape Pod combo was my other card that wasn't mentioned. Free Ride combo. It's like I've talked to a few people where it's like I don't love when a card does 75 different things, and Free Ride combo, especially because it's had at least one errata, but it may have had multiple erratas. Like it does 75 different things, and I could not tell you a single thing that it does.
None of which even pretend to be thematic in any way.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
None. So honorable mentions for me, and probably the only other combo card that I would have put on here would have been Masterful Move and Endor Occupation. Would have been another combo card that I would have. That's one of the cards that, like, Masterful Move, combo, Gick, and the starting effect. Those are the 3 cards that I put in like every deck. And then
I think
from there, unless I'm playing TTO.
I think I didn't pick Escape Pod and We're Doomed or the Masterful Move combo just because they're iconic for pulling another interrupt, and that didn't feel like it. I don't know. It didn't feel like enough to justify being on the list.
I do think that they are thematic, well, not thematic necessarily, but I think they're enough. Like, they're not free ride. They're not a million lines of text that do disparate things, and they do have another very good function, a very useful function in canceling celebrations. Like, yeah. So Masterful Move was also on my list, so I would have been happy if that made the final list.
I also usually just play non-combo Masterful Move so I can get the 6. But I don't even know if I own a copy of the Masterful Move combo. Anybody want to send me one? Then yeah, you know how to find me.
You'll be a friend
It's
of the
probably
show.
It's the card I lend out the most, I think, because I have 2 and I almost never put 2 in a deck. So
Right.
I think I lent Batmouse one for his top 8 at Worlds. Yeah. Chris, I think you're the only one who hasn't gone with honorable mentions yet, or did you go?
I mean, I kind of did. I feel like honorable mentions that were mentioned were, like I said, the Biff Shuffle combo, and I think Kendall's suggestion of Antilles Maneuver combo or Antilles Maneuver Virtual is also one that definitely was on my potentials list. So I think really between like so when I was making my list, I did a tabbed Excel sheet here, and I have all the light ones, all the dark ones, and then I have a third sheet, which was where I did my worksheet, where I kept track of senses, alters, and shields, and a shorter list of like the ones I was interested in having. And I think I've got 20-ish, 22 it looks like, that I considered that were on the shortish list, and I think we've talked about most of them. So yeah, I don't think I have anything more to say. This was the least acrimonious, perhaps, top 8 we've had, and I think we're all vibing in the same direction, which I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, that's the secret to this format, is that even if it doesn't make the list, if somebody brings it up and it gets canceled, then that validates the listener that agrees with me that None Shall Pass should have made the list.
No, I'm glad it didn't.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. I think. Who won today, Matt? Matt, you there?
Oh, I'm muted. Okay, now I'm not. Yes.
Who won?
So I've been keeping score. Kendall and Batmouse each got 1 point. Kendall for being ready to sense the free ride combo, and Batmouse for his double sense of None Shall Pass.
Yes.
But Chris actually got 3 points and is the winner. And his 3 points are for using the grabber to make the correct choice at number 1. 1 for mind gaming Kendall into sensing changing the odds so that he didn't have to use a sense. And finally, for picking Ascension Guns, a card that is close to my heart because it is integral to my Bren Derlin's Cantina version of Watch Your Step, because it means you don't have to track a 5 to make sure that the explosive charge kills everyone at the Cantina. And also, it's a 5. It's a 5 by itself, so you can also track with it. I love Ascension Guns, and I love this list.
Me too.
And I love all of you. And I love Star Wars cards.
Same, buddy.
All
Same.
right. Well,
Absolutely.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. Until next time, good luck, have fun, and no reverts. This podcast is a production of the KendallCast Podcast Network. You can support the show for just $2 a month at patreon.com/KendallCast or make a direct donation through the PayPal link at kendallcast.ninja. Every little bit helps.